So today I wanted to just chat about, because I think that was one of the most common things that came up, was binge eating. The couple of things that I asked everyone in the group, as well as on Instagram and things like that, that came up quite a lot, excuse me, of getting to the weekend and just being like, stuff it. It's my weekend off, I'm gonna just go for it. So I thought, why not best to talk about it on a Friday morning, so that maybe we can make better decisions this weekend. So here we are talking about breaking up with weekend binging. So I had to put this quote in because I thought this was pretty cool. Found this online, that the diet culture is often to blame. People get so in tune with being controlled over how they eat during the week that it gives them this perceived freedom over the weekends to eat whatever they want to. Some people call it their cheat days. Others say it's just my day off, so I shouldn't have to think about it. It takes the pressure off. So I'm sure a lot of us feel the same way, that we work really hard over the week, we gym really hard over the week, and then when it gets to the weekend, we're not working, we're not really, probably a lot of us don't exercise as well over the weekends, because a lot of us sort of gym very close to where we work, and so we're not gymming, we're not working, so probably the nutrition goes out the window as well. So it definitely doesn't have to be that way, and that's obviously why I wanted to address it. That there's this overwhelming sort of what's sort of perceived from us as to what people do over the weekends compared to what people do over the week. So before everyone throws up their tantrums, the heading is just say no to cheat meals. And the idea of it is that we say no to the meaning of cheat meals. We say no to the meaning of, we're going to eat so good over the week, and then we're going to have this massive binge idea of a cheat meal over the weekend, that we're basically living for that Friday night dinner, or that Saturday breakfast, or that Saturday dinner, or that massive drinking session that's coming up. So say no to the idea that it has to be one massive cheat meal, that we call it a cheat meal, first of all, because I've come to agree with myself that it's not a cheat meal. Why are we cheating? There's like so many sayings where we're like, you don't cheat on your partner, you don't cheat in your homework, you don't cheat at school, you don't cheat at college. Why are you cheating on your nutrition? Why are you cheating on your fitness? It's not cheating. It's just having another meal that's a little less likely, definitely, but it's not cheating. It doesn't need to be seen as this horrible thing where we're doing ourselves and other people this horrible event. So say no to the idea that it has to be this cheat meal. There's nothing wrong with having a glass of wine every now and again. There's nothing wrong with having that pizza. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit extra carbs or a little bit more sugar, as long as it's sort of in its quantities. So everything's got its quantities. Yes, we don't want to be having that every single day. Yes, we don't want to be going overboard on a Saturday. And that's more what I'm trying to come across, is that if we have everything in its quantities, whether it be chocolate, cake, wine, or pizza, it's not about having to wait to the weekend for it and basically overindulge just because this is our one moment to go overboard. In fact, how our obviously minds start perceiving it is that we end up just overeating, because we feel like this is our one and only time that we get to do this. So say no to that perception of excuse me, this is my one time that I can do this, so therefore I need to eat the whole cake instead of just one or even half a slice that I'd actually be fine with, because this is my only time to eat it. So say no to the mindset of cheat meals rather than just say no to cheat meals. Don't see it as a cheat meal. See it as, I can have this whenever I want. I'm just choosing to have it on a Thursday night. I'm just choosing to have it on a Sunday morning because it suits my schedule better. It suits me better. And it's actually when I want it, rather than this is the only time I'm allowing myself to have it. So therefore I must die fighting to eat the whole thing because that's all I can give myself. Practice mindful eating, and that sounds very woo-woo, but basically enjoy your food, enjoy what you're having, enjoy why you're having it, enjoy it, breathe it in, whatever you want to think about it as. Enjoy your food, whether it be a good meal, whatever your meal is, possibly whatever you want to call it. If you still like that whole mindset of a cheat meal mentality, enjoy it rather than just scarfing it down because, like we've said in our previous slide, this is the only time you get to actually have it. Realize when you're full, enjoy your food, enjoy conversation, enjoy the environment that you're eating it in. Sometimes some of us don't get to have such nice food at home, so therefore when we actually go out and we have that slice of cheesecake, but we're sitting in a restaurant and we're sitting with friends that we don't often see, we very often go into like TV mode of just eating without realizing what it's gone. And like you're sitting in front of the TV and you're eating those bag of chips, and then you look down and it's gone, and you're like, did the dogs eat them? Did I throw half the packet down on the floor and it disappear into cyberspace? Like, where did this entire packet go? I couldn't have actually eaten the whole thing. And it's exactly that. It's exactly like, be mindful when you eat. It's not about, having this connoisseur in front of you every single time you're eating. Can you taste the banana? Can you feel the burnt toast? It's not about that. It's just about being a little bit more mindful when you actually do eat. And a lot of us, and I know for myself specifically, I'm very much on this eat and go sort of very pressed time frame that I'm most of the time I'm eating a banana as I'm running out and rushing to work, or having a protein shake just before I have to start coaching, or now in bed scarfing down a quick slice of toast or whatever so that I can quickly do this live chat and get back to work, or whatever the case may be, or admin, or whatever the case may be, your schedule. Just take 5 minutes more to just really encompass what you're eating, and that the fact that you actually are eating is the biggest thing. Of like, let your mind just catch up with the fact that you are eating, because you probably get a little bit more full than what you'd expect if you actually just a little bit more mindful about it. Be consistent. This is a tough one, and I want to speak about this in the weeks to come as an own thing, but it is very hard to do this if we don't plan. So it needs a lot of planning ahead. It needs a lot of timekeeping. So do I have the food in my fridge so that I can meal prep? I meal prep on a Monday and a Wednesday, and that allows me to have all the lunches I need available so that I can actually enjoy my food and eat mindfully and say no to cheat meals and all these things. Because often when we are unprepared and we are not planned for what's to come, that's also where this binging comes in, because we then are starved by the time we get home and we end up eating a whole slab of chocolate when really what's going on? There we go. Oh, sorry about that. So in actual fact, being consistent comes a lot with just being prepared and being planned. So how can I take the steps to just be a little bit more prepared so that I am able to stay consistent? And it's about having little checklists of saying, I'm going to go buy the yogurt and all the things that I need so that I can prepare the 3 lunches that I need for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so that I'm not stuck and having to go rush to the shop and buy 3 sandwiches because I haven't eaten all day and it's 3 o'clock and now I'm starving. One sandwich would have been fine if we were sort of prepared. There's nothing wrong with having that. But it comes in that we starve ourselves, we think we're so hungry, or we probably are so hungry, but instead of having a chicken salad, it's not enough now. It needs to be 3, 4 sandwiches because we just need to scarf it down and get something into us. So being consistent comes a lot with planning, and I want to speak about this soon. So I hope you're interested in that as well. So starting a food journal, this is difficult for some, whether it be obviously writing things down or having something like a MyFitness app. I'm not a big fan of it, if I say realistically, just because it is very difficult to keep ahead of every single time you eat something. You've now got to write it down or do something, but I do agree with it. So if you're someone that enjoys writing things down or putting things in the app, then please, I put it in here because it's a really good skill to have. And I say this because it's something that I need to work on myself, not only to then realize what you could potentially be doing wrong, because a lot of us, again, eat mindlessly, not realizing what we've eaten. And, at the end of the week, we're like, oh, we've picked up 2 kilos, but I wasn't eating that bad. And then you sit on the couch and you really think about it, and you really, really think about it, and you go, actually, I did have that slab the other day, and then I did eat those chips when I was at my friend's house, and then I went to my mom's place, and she offered me a slice of cake that I didn't think about, when I was eating it, and all these things start floating back. So a food journal can be really great to be honest with ourselves and really look and go, and it's not about being hard, guys. It's not about being hard on ourselves and going, oh, I had that piece of cake, now I've got to go for an extra run. Or it's just about being aware. So most of the time we're just not aware of what we're eating. And this doesn't need to be seen in a negative light at all. If we're eating really good and we're losing weight, and then we go through and we're doing this food journal and we're going through life, and then suddenly life slips and we put on a little bit of weight or we get a little bit lazy, and then you go, oh, I wonder what I was doing so good back 3 weeks ago that was allowing me to lose weight and be fine with it. You can go look. Oh, and I was eating this really awesome lunch. I remember that was really good. Oh yes, then I was planning out my dinners and they were ready for me in the fridge, and all I had to do was pop them in the microwave and then they were ready for me, and I remember those being really tasty. So I'm going to start doing that again. So it doesn't need to be a negative light at all. It's not about looking at the food journal and go, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, but more just being aware. So whether we're eating mindfully and we're actually being aware of our food in the moment, later on we tend to forget what it is that we actually ate. So having a food journal just around, and you don't need to pay for things like this. There's free apps that allow you to do this, that actually allow you to see how much calories are in everything. If you don't want to obviously see that sort of stuff, or if you don't have the time to obviously sit and put everything into an app, you can just jot things down on a piece of paper, whether it be in your actual diary or go and get another diary and have a specific food diary. Just jot things down, and then maybe at the end of the day you can sit and make the food journal on your app and actually relate it, because very often sometimes we could be under eating, we could be overeating. It doesn't always need to be eating bad things. We could really just be under eating, and that could be a big cause as to why we're feeling tired, why we're not getting enough vitamins in, why we're not potentially getting enough sleep. A lot of things can factor into if we're not eating well. So carry that over and have the sort of skill of just jotting things down and being aware of what you're actually eating. And this goes in with adopting healthy habits. So when it comes to binge eating over the weekend, sometimes we feel we're so underdeprived, and we need to just adopt these healthy habits of, I'm going to maybe not, maybe going to eat that chocolate. I'm going to eat 1 or 2 pieces every night. And that's my healthy habit, so that I don't binge over the weekend. So healthy habits can be anything that allow you to stay straight, sort of from Monday through to Sunday. So whether it be, yes, I'm going to have my glass of wine on a Saturday night because I go visit my friends and that's something that I enjoy doing, but I don't need to feel deprived that I haven't had any carbs from Monday through to Friday, that I need to now sit here and drink out my entire carb level because I haven't had any carbs over the week. I maybe feel so good about my eating habits that I had carbs from Monday to Friday. It was enough. I don't feel deprived. I don't feel like I need to eat a whole loaf of bread on a Saturday or drink 2 bottles of wine because I'm lacking so much of the sugar content or whatever it is that we want, that we overindulge on the Saturday. So adopt healthier habits that allow you to not feel deprived by the weekend, and whatever that may be. So if you need to have your small chocolate, a couple of pieces, whatever it needs to be, from Monday through to Friday, so that you don't feel deprived on the Saturday to want to eat 4 slabs. Same thing with a glass of wine. I don't need to feel the need to drink 2 bottles on a Saturday because I had a glass on possibly the Thursday that made me feel better, or bread, or whatever your weakness is. Don't feel that you are depriving yourself, because that's when this overindulging sensation comes in over the weekend. And then letting go of food rules. So this is a big thing. Obviously, if we are in this very strict mindset of no bread, no potatoes, no eating after 7, no dairy, no cheese, no the fits into very much these very strict sort of eating diets, and sometimes that just becomes too much for us. Very often we are in a very bad place in our mindset, where we're possibly working a lot, and now we're putting extra stress on ourselves by having these very exhausting food rules, that sometimes we just need to let them go. And this comes into the healthy habits, and this comes into everything else that I've sort of built on along the way of these slides, that rather have the healthier habits sort of throughout the week, and then that way we don't need to feel that we are so strict on ourselves from Monday through to Friday that we have to go crazy on the Saturday. So a lot of us could potentially be on these strict diets, and that's actually what's causing us to go crazy on the Saturday, instead of having that loaf of bread on the Saturday because that was our one and only time to eat bread. Have a slice on the Friday, have some potatoes, have some whatever it is that is sort of we being super strict on. Just let go a little bit, and that way letting go of control, eat what you need to eat within quantities. I keep reassuring you, so don't just eat the 7 slabs of chocolate now because I told you to. That's not what I'm saying at all. Everything's got its quantity, guys. So it's more about having control of not having control. So eat what you need to eat by going by hunger, rather than what you're allowing yourself and what you're not allowing yourself. So I'm just wanting to end this off by saying there's no perfect time to eat better. There's not tomorrow, not Monday. Life is always a little crazy. We're always wanting to have this perfect time to start this diet. There's always going to be something that comes up, whether it be work, kids, horrible things like death, beautiful things like weddings, or births of the family and things like that. Life is always going to be a little crazy. There's not going to be a perfect time. Don't keep waiting until this perfect Monday to start your diet, because it's not about it being a diet. It's about eating better and as better as we can, as best as we can, in the moment. Always just making better decisions. So all we can do is our best with what we've got right here, right now, and here's where we start. So I wanted to do this on a Monday, on a Friday. I'm looking at the word Monday, on a Friday, so that you can have a better mindset going into the weekend. Really ask yourself, why am I eating this? Do I really need a second or third serving? Is it because I'm looking for an excuse to eat this? Or is it because I actually really am hungry? So very often over the weekends, we have this mindset of I need to eat this because I can. Because it's a weekend and I've got this perceived perception of I need to go crazy because it's the weekend. Instead of actually just halving that, you really, undoing damage by just eating if you don't feel like the chocolate, don't eat the chocolate, guys. Like, rather wait for the time that you actually feel the chocolate, and then you then eat less, because you've allowed yourself to sort of eat it when you actually want it, and maybe you only want it in a week's time or a day's time, but you actually eat it when you want it. You then don't need to overindulge because you've given yourself the actual option. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you have an incredible weekend and make better decisions. This is just a little sneak peek into what I do with my 10-week clients, 10-week course clients. So if you enjoy these sort of things, this is what I do with them on a weekly basis. We have mindset talks, we have nutrition chats. I speak to them on a one-on-one basis. So if you enjoy things like that, then please ask me about my next 10-week course. It'll be coming up potentially in the new year. Just because December is obviously very crazy. I don't know where I'm going to be with internet connections. So I don't want to hold myself to objectives that I potentially can't fulfill because I'm in the middle of nowhere with no internet. I want to obviously be available to you guys, and I know a lot of people obviously go away over Decembers and things like that. So I feel like in the new year would be best. Thank you so much for listening. Have an amazing weekend. Make better choices. Think about this chat. Listen to it again if you need to. And I know that I'm always here to help. Any questions, please ask. I'm always here and available. Thanks very much for listening, guys, and have a great weekend. See you soon.